Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. On today's episode, I want to talk about Chillin' Reign, but more importantly, I want to talk about the potential for price retraces for Chillin' Reign. And honestly, is this going to be very indicative for what we see for prices of modern sets going forwards? We've already really seen it for Battle Styles, so the next step is, are we going to start to see it for Chillin' Reign? And what could be the cause and effect for this? And is this something, honestly, we should be worried about or something we shouldn't be that worried about? For this video, you really got to compare Chillin' Reigns to Battle Styles, and I know a lot of people are going to get super upset about that. They do not want to hear that because at the end of the day, yes, they are two very distinct sets. Cards in each set are extremely different. Alternative arts versus, the full arts versus the trainer cards versus the waifu cards versus everything each set has going for it and what each set doesn't have going for it. But at the end of the day, because they are so recent, they are so super, super ultra modern, it's hard to ignore them because of what we saw happen with Battle Styles. Mainly being, well, what did we see happen with Battle Styles? At the end of the day, we just started to see Battle Styles prices take real hard retraces, and we started to see a ton of product pretty much everywhere. You can go to a lot of different stores, pick up Battle Styles. You can definitely go online to like the Pokemon Center or Target or Best Buy or a lot of these different, your GameStops, places where you can pick up product at MSRP. And when I refer to MSRP for ETBs, I'm really referring to like the $39.99. But we've already seen a lot of other websites start to retrace their prices below that $39.99. You could start picking up these ETBs at fire sale prices. And then same thing with booster boxes. We watch booster boxes right at release float right around that $150 mark, and then just real quickly 140, 130, 120 to 100. We're starting to see some of these booster boxes sit at like right around the $90 mark. And that's could be very indicative of what we're seeing for Chillin' Reign. And it's not to talk about the cards in the set. And I know a lot of people are going to want to do this and they're not going to want to compare it. But the reason why I feel you have to compare it a little bit is because I think one of the strong factors that went against Battle Styles was the huge hype behind Chillin' Reign that a lot of people said, maybe I'll step back a little bit. I won't go as hard at Battle Styles as maybe I normally would for a release for a set. And maybe I'll focus and wait on Chillin' Reign a little bit. And then what happened with Chillin' Reign? A super hype set, just more or less, I'm not going to say it got killed because that would be, such a stretch and such an exaggeration and probably a very poor word to use to say that that set was killed. But I'm just going to let you know that Evolving Skies definitely did not help Chillin' Reign's hype. And the reason why is because Evolving Skies is such a ridiculously overpowered, overhyped set. I'm guessing if you guys are, watching this channel, you're very well aware of what's in the Evolving Skies set now. You got all, like, the evolutions, plus a Return of Dragon Pokemon. Like, this set is going to be a very high next level set, and it just makes me ask the question. And I think you have to at least ask the question whether you agree with it or not. It's important to have a discussion, and I've said it before. Really, at the end of the day, that's what this channel is. This channel is one long discussion. But when you have, like, a very weak set in Battle Styles, a strong set in Chillin' Reign, but, like, a crazy overpowered set in Evolving Skies, are a lot of people really going to want to go real hard with Chillin' Reign? And sadly, going against Chillin' Reign, I've only opened up a very small amount of the product, and maybe for some people what I've opened might be considered a decent amount, but I'll tell you right now, the print quality that Pokemon is letting cards go out at is absolutely terrible recently. And it's not just, like the normal stuff we're used to. Like, okay, maybe you got some poor centering. No, it's like, you name it, the quality on these cards are bad. Centering, corners, edges, like the hollow scratches, packs being mispacked, products not having the correct amount of stuff, too many reverse hollows. Some have all, I mean, you name it. These sets right now have just, you know, the worst quality control across the board. And then, yeah, at the end of the day, sure, are you going to get lucky and pick up some packs that are fine? Yeah. But, you know, the small subset of stuff I've opened, I've been more or less disappointed, not with just the pull rates, with just like I said, the actual physical quality of the cards. And, you know, me and my wife, we like to open up packs together. That's, first of all, guys, I'll give you a real quick life advice, and I know you don't come to this channel for life advice, but you want a happy marriage, you find yourself a wife that, you know, encourages your Pokemon hobby. But me and her, we open packs together, and we will sit at the kitchen table and we do card tricks because it's exciting. As I'm flipping cards around, counting 4 from the back to put them in the front, as I'm counting them, I'm looking at the back of these cards, and you're already disappointed. And I wouldn't say you're hoping not to get a good card, because at 0 point in the history of this hobby does anybody open a pack of cards and hope they don't have a good card. But as I'm looking and I'm flipping through these cards doing pack tricks, I'm hoping I don't get like an amazingly awesome card, because I just know how bad the quality of the card is. And trust me, that is not a good feeling to have before you even start looking at the actual cards. Like, it's gotten to that point. So all this stuff going against it, and I don't know if this is just Pokemon, you know, really being true to their word, and that tweet that they sent out saying that they are going to print to the max capabilities and, you know, the most product that they possibly can. And maybe this is just going to be a byproduct from now until forever of just shitty print quality, until the demand really weans enough where Pokemon could really start to get their quality control issues under control, and they don't have this need or this rush to, you know, put out a ton of product. You know, I don't know when that's going to happen or if that will happen. I hope it happens, or at least the quality control gets better. But at the end of the day, with like such a strong set following this, I just feel that a lot of people are not going to really have like ton of incentive to open a lot of product. And at the same time, you could really ask yourself the question too of, if you want to go even one step forward, or one step, you know, and talk, well, what's one of the good things about pulling a really good, really rare card? Well, hopefully, like I said, ignoring the print qualities, hoping the condition's good. Normally, you want to send that card away for graded, because if you are in it to make a couple bucks or potentially pull some cards, flip some cards, grading is really the area a lot of people want to go. PSA still closed to July 1st. And to the best of my knowledge, I haven't really, you know, been super into the market in the last few days, just because I've been real busy with some stuff at home. But as I know right now, PSA has not said with 100% clarity if they're opening up all their tiers on July 1st. And then again, on the other end of the spectrum, CGC, super long turnaround times. Who knows how long a lot of these cards are going to take to get back, especially anything that you were to, let's say, hypothetically put it in a package, mail it to CGC today. First, I have no clue how long it would even take them to open the package. I have 2 packages full of cards right now sitting at CGC, and with the exception of knowing that I have tracking on them and that they were at least delivered to CGC, who knows when they're going to open these? Because, yeah, they're on their website, they do have like where they currently are opening packages. I think the last I looked was like the week of March 29th. But they're taking a long, long time to open these packages, which is very, I wouldn't call it nerve-wracking, but it's very disturbing of how long the turnaround times might actually be that they're not really talking about. And then let's just say, oh, you want to go BGS, you can't even do BGS. So grading right now, while it's not 100% out the window, it's going to be very hard to do, and you're going to just expect extremely long turnaround times, probably a year minimum depending on the grading service, depending on the company, you could be talking a couple years. So it's something to at least keep in mind when you're having this discussion when it comes to modern product. So all this stuff is very important because as all these little individual things start to happen, they start to really compound on each other. And so you could have like one little issue start to gradually be a big issue because of all the stuff surrounding it. And when you look at little issues becoming big issues, at the end of the day, it trickles its way throughout the entire market. And is it really shitty to say that there is a sort of correlation between prices of cards for modern and vintage? At the end of the day, when you look at them from the outside looking in, you say, no, there's no way that, modern product in any way should affect vintage product. And you're right, kind of. And when I say kind of, and it's always a stretch and it's always a tough conversation to have, is because when modern product is very hyped in a lot of demand, people aren't able to get their fill for modern product. So when they're not able to get their fill for modern product, it gives them really no other option except to go out and start to really either rediscover or discover in the first place a lot of more vintage product. And as people start to discover or rediscover this vintage product, that's a way down the rabbit hole. And as you go down that rabbit hole, your world of Pokemon expands immensely. You think about like modern sets, you got to wait a couple months in between. But when you're really going all in, it's super easy to go back to a lot of these sets that you might have missed when you weren't part of the hobby. Like there's plenty of Diamond and Pearl stuff. There's, depending on when you left the hobby or when you rejoin the hobby, there's probably like huge subsets of cards that you missed out on. So when modern is just not available, you're more incentive to go back to these sets. But when people can easily get their fill for modern, they do it. But then that's it, right? Because if there's no financial gain in a way, people, like I said, are just not as excited about opening product. And I know it's really shitty to say, and a lot of people are not going to want to hear that. But at the end of the day, a lot of the newer collectors that entered this hobby, and the only reason I can say this with relative certainty is because I've talked to a lot of them. I've had conversations with them. I've heard their thought on a lot of stuff. And a word that comes up very, very often is investment. And what their timeline is very different. But what I'm afraid of is that when the investment of modern more or less evaporates or dissipates, people are going to realize that maybe they haven't been doing like all the right stuff, or at least definitely not doing what a lot of people would probably recommend. And I'm afraid a lot of people have kind of been worrying about and warning. And don't get me wrong, I think to an extent, modern is still a good investment for the long term. And at least something that a lot of people should consider, especially when you're trying to, collect sealed product and just grow your Pokemon inventory. And again, open up product and enjoy it. Modern's fun. I don't care who you are. But don't get so obsessed with the financial aspect of it, because when stuff like this starts to happen, people will really start to step back. People maybe start to get nervous. People start to make irrational decisions. And more importantly, people start to leave. But at the same time, there's a lot of people out there who have now, probably went pretty hard into Pokemon in 2020, probably went pretty hard in Pokemon 2021, and might just be catching their breath a little bit. Because at the end of the day, Pokemon can be very hard to keep up with when it comes to just the financial aspect. And it would be very easy to burn yourself out if you're going after set after set after set. Because I said in tons of videos in the past, Pokemon, one thing they're very good at is putting out new sets. I don't even know how many sets we're at. I want to say on just traditional, sets, it's like 91, 92 sets. You're talking multiple sets a year, not including special collection boxes like Shine and Fates or Hidden Fates or Champion's Path or Shine and Legends or any of those sets, ignoring those. So you get like one or two of those a year. You're going to get the 25th anniversary set. There is always a new set. And the problem is Pokemon right now, they're on fire. They're making some phenomenal new sets. Chill and Rain was phenomenal. Battle Styles, I know a lot of people instantly don't like it. I still think Battle Styles is a pretty phenomenal set. And Evolving Skies is just going to be another phenomenal set. So with all this hype happening, I'm just afraid we're seeing all the makings of Chilling Reign starting to really retrace. And if you see this happening, now a lot of people, your local LGSs, and I kind of talked about it a little bit with Battle Styles, you can start to see a lot of these people have history repeat themselves. When I say have history repeat themselves, you got to think about some of the sets that really hurt LGSs in the past. Crimson Invasion being a big one, right? Or Roaring Skies being another one. It's almost ironic, right? That Evolving Skies has that Roaring Skies 2 feel to it. And then at the end of the day, maybe Evolving Skies will be the set to kill all these LGSs again because of, destroying the hype for these other sets. Because a lot of these different people were trying to pick up as much product as just they possibly could because the market was so hot and there was so much money to be made. A lot of them might not really be ready, or their memory started to get very, very short-sighted, and they forget that at the end of the day, this really is the truer Pokemon market. And I know what you guys are going to say out there. Well, what do you mean by the truer market? And is that even a word? And is that even a sentence? Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it is the true market because, we don't normally see booster boxes for ultra modern sets, 2x the day they get sent to you in the mail if you got lucky and you pre-order them at a low price. So, thinking about Chill and Rain is the very first set in a very long time that I did not pre-order. And the truth was, I just was not able to find a pre-order price that I felt comfortable with. I think the lowest pre-order price I saw was like $119, and I did not feel comfortable with that price. I believe that price was too high. It was actually ended up being relatively easy to pick up ETBs at MSRP, whether it was Target, GameStop, I know they sold out pretty quick, but Pokemon Center, there was a lot of other websites, had a lot of ETBs. ETBs were easy for Chill and Rain to pick up at MSRP. Booster boxes, not so much. So I just sat back and I said, you know what? I'm not going to buy booster boxes because I honestly believed that I would see a price retrace. And right now, it appears that it has the makings for that. I can't guarantee that or not, but but right before Evolving Skies comes out, very similar to what we saw with Battle Styles, I do believe that Chill and Rain booster box prices will be sitting somewhere in between that $90 to $100 mark. And you got to keep in mind, a lot of people out there, maybe they're agreeing with it because they're already starting to see all the warning signs that I'm seeing. But I don't want you to lose sight of this fact. Till very, very recently, a month, 2 months, 3 months ago, people were talking that the days of, $90 to $100 booster boxes were a thing of the past. People were saying that. They are saying we may never see that again. And I want to say I made a video on this channel talking that I thought maybe that could be a possibility. I was wrong. I'll be the first one to tell you I was extremely wrong. That is not a thing of the past. That is definitely something that will be a very realistic thing happening in the future for a lot of sets. So then you got to ask Eve, keep just going deeper down the rabbit hole, keep asking questions. And I don't care if all these questions we are asking at the end of the day end up being wrong. I just think it's so important to at least have the conversation, have the discussion. But then could we start to see this happen, with Evolving Skies? And you say, well, how can you hype up Evolving Skies? You know, not shit on, but start to talk down Chillin' Reign, a set that as of recording this video has only been released for 2 days officially. And then you're already talking about this super hype set of Evolving Skies. And now we could potentially start to see that price retrace when that set gets released. And, it's probably a little too early to talk about that. It's probably too early to speculate. But I think it would also be foolish to ignore it and not just, at least, like I said, have that conversation. And you could ask yourself, well, what would cause a lot of this? What would cause this price retrace? And I think it's a lot of things that, cause it. But one of them, too, if there's not the demand, there's no way prices can stay strong. And one of the reasons I feel that price demand is not staying as strong as we've seen very recently, meaning, very consistent prices, no retraces, is because a lot of the people, a lot of the new money that entered the hobby is either not new money anymore. So meaning the people that have entered this hobby with all this newer money has started to become very educated, and it's not just willy-nilly throwing their money around anymore. They're starting to, realize, maybe I shouldn't be pre-ordering booster boxes at some ridiculous dollar amount just so I could, open that booster box on release day. Or what's something's really scary is that people are paying crazy prices, but not to open booster boxes, but to keep them sealed and, put them in your sealed collection. Like that's super scary, right? You're going to spend all this extra money to keep a sealed product as an investment, but you're already going to pay potentially 30 to 40% more than everyone else. So now, in order to make money on your quote unquote investment, you have to have that price go up 40%, and then you're at a break even point. Yeah. That shit always makes me nervous. I hope a lot of people out there have realized that's not what you should do, but I do believe that that's happening. And then you have all the other side of the coin where you just had a lot of people who came in, maybe they bought a lot of product, they either got burnt out, realized it's not for them, fell off, or quarantine restrictions got lifted and stuff like this. And now we're starting to see those people just leave the hobby in droves. And when you have people leave the hobby in droves, there's just not the demand for the product. I don't know how realistic a lot of this is. It's impossible to say. I don't believe that demand is as strong as it was, say, in November 2020. I do believe it's fallen off a little bit. And it will be very curious and very interesting to see, how long this lasts. Now, this is important too. If you've made it to this point in the video, now I'm going to start to tell you why I think this is actually, in a way, a good thing. Because if you are smart and you're doing all this stuff correctly, like I said, you're sitting back, you're watching the market play out, you're not letting any kind of FOMO get in the way and buying product for bad prices, you're able to now sit back, view the market as a whole, start to really navigate the market, really navigate the modern market. There could be some real strong potential buying opportunities out there to get product at a really decent price. Picking up a Battle Styles booster box at $90, looking at where the upside of a booster box at $90 is versus, the downside of a booster box, sure, let's have a conversation. Even a $20 swing in either direction is not terrible. To buy a Battle Styles booster box at call it $91, you get a $20 swing in the positive, you're at $111 now that booster box is worth. And a worst case scenario, in my opinion, is you get a $20 swing to the negative. That booster box is worth 71. But at the end of the day, like, is $20 a make or break point for you? Probably not. So if you're really now wanting to just sit on some product for the long term, do I see Battle Style sitting at the $90 mark from now until forever? No, of course not. Eventually, given enough time, and I've explained, Pokemon has this ability to just keep rifling, keep turning out product from now until forever. Trust me, Pokemon, in my opinion, is going to outlive me. It's definitely going to outlive, like a lot of us. And probably, realistic, will outlive all of us because we're not going to live to be infinity. That's how strong I think the Pokemon IP is. And can I say that again with any sort of certainty? No. But, there's been a lot of people out there that have said it before. Even if Pokemon never made another TV show, never made another movie, never made another playing card again tomorrow, you still got a 20-year timeline where Pokemon will still be collectible because of the people that are currently in the market. But that's not going to happen in the near term. Pokemon is so strong, and I've seen a lot of Party City, they have pretty much entire Pokemon sections that people are having Pokemon birthday parties and stuff. Pokemon is so strong. So we're not going to see Pokemon go away in the future. So to pick up a booster box at $90, yeah, I don't really see a lot of risk in the long term. In the very, very near term, sure, it can be a very bumpy road. And, if that's what you're looking for, is that very quick flip, that quick dollar, yeah, maybe those aren't the booster boxes you should be in the market for. But like I said, there is, a silver lining to all this stuff. And the silver lining being a lot of value out there. You look at a lot of, these XY booster boxes. You could pick up, I don't know, let's just say Evolutions, right? Evolution sat around that $80, $90 mark for a long time. And you know why? Because a lot of people were just over it. And what do I mean by they were over it is people had already got their fill of Evolutions. There was hype when it came out. People opened as much product as they wanted. And then eventually, they just got tired of it. They moved on to the next set. And yeah, Evolution's being in a weird area because it was the end of the XY, and then everybody got excited about Sun and Moon, and then everybody started, ripping packs of different Sun and Moon sets, and then eventually people got excited about Sword and Shield and all this stuff. Like, time goes on. And then what happened with Evolution's price started to increase. Now, do I think the prices of that booster box where it hit, were those any sort of realistic dollar amounts? Hell no. $1,000 for an Evolution box is a ridiculous price. Even $400 for that booster box is overvalued. But then, you keep going back and you keep lowering the price for that booster box. You can start to get to areas like $200 a booster box. Then you could start to have a conversation. Well, is $200 overvalued for that booster box? And you could really start to say no. Maybe at a dollar amount like that, it is a very good price for a booster box like that. And that is already far above a 2x return on that booster box if you got it for $80. So, you can look at stuff like that and say, you start to look at it when stuff goes out of print, when print runs, change, where focus gets put on other sets. Yeah, sets that booster boxes were at $80 start to become much more appealing to people. So if you're in the market right now, if you're in the hobby and you do expect to be in it for the long term, these are the plays that can be very beneficial in the future. And I know when you talk about future, it can be tough, especially when you're talking a decade, 10-year timelines. There's probably a lot of people in this hobby that are only right around, say, 28 years old to 38 years old. So if people are 30 years old, I could be potentially telling these people that they need to wait a third of their lifetime of what they've already been alive and wait that long to start to see like decent returns on some of this. Yeah, that could potentially be, very aggressive and that could turn a lot of people away. But hey, guys, this is just a conversation I want to have. This is a conversation I want to have about Chillin' Reign. And we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we will not see huge price retraces for Chillin' Reign, but I'm pretty confident we're going to see, 125 a booster box. Then we'll see call it $5 price decreases, 120, 115, 110. And then we'll start to see the first ever Chillin' Reign booster boxes at like $100, and then eventually 95 and maybe 90. And how long do I think this will take to play out? Really? I think it's going to play out right before Evolving Skies gets released. So like the week or two before, we'll do another price check. We'll just check eBay. We'll see what booster boxes are selling for. But hey, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know a lot of people out there are probably going to be strongly disagree, and that's good. I want to hear other sides of the argument. I want to hear what other people have to say. And maybe I'll be wrong. There's always a chance. Again, this is strictly speculation. But other than that, listen. If you made it to this part of the video, you're not subscribed, do me a favor. Go down below, hit that subscribe button. Other than that, hit the like button. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.